A fundraiser is in place raising money to replace 2 trailers that were stolen from the Higher Power Garage. I'm Caitlin Shive. That's coming up. Plus details on an early morning fire in Pittsburgh. And a run that's been delayed since spring finally takes off in Neosho.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A fire at an apartment complex in Pittsburgh led to one person jumping from a window. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Kate Kelly. Around 4 a.m. this morning, Pittsburgh Fire and Police Departments responded to a 4-unit apartment complex at 1602 South Walnut Street in Pittsburgh. Heavy flames left victims trapped inside, but all residents were able to escape. Authorities say the person who jumped through the window sustained injuries but received medical treatment and has been released. Another resident is being treated in Springfield for burns. The apartment complex sustained heavy fire damage to 1 unit and smoke and water damage to the other 3. The Kansas State Fire Marshal's office is currently investigating the cause of the fire. Pittsburgh police have arrested a suspect in connection to a string of armed robberies throughout the area. The Pittsburgh Police Department says that on Friday night, officers were dispatched to Pete's at 1711 North Broadway in Pittsburgh, where an armed robbery had just taken place. The suspect reportedly threatened the convenience store clerk with a knife before fleeing the area on a bicycle with an undisclosed amount of cash. Detectives quickly developed a suspect and made an arrest shortly after midnight on Saturday. Items located in a search of the suspect's home in Pittsburgh connected him to the armed robbery committed at the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas on November 21st, as well as an armed robbery at a snack attack on December 4th. Evidence seized during the search could also be connected to other armed robberies in neighboring cities. The suspect was booked on 3 counts of aggravated robbery related to all 3 robbery incidents. He's currently being held without bond at the Crawford County Jail. Nick Kelly joins us now with our first look at weather, and it looks like we got our snow day, even if it didn't stick around here too much.
I know, even if some of you that did get snow, Kate, it all depends on where you live. It was either too warm the ground for it to stick, or you picked up quite a bit of it, especially in our southern counties. We'll go over those pictures a little later on, but winter weather advisories are now confined to north central Arkansas. We are done with this storm system. The snow moved on now over the past few hours. Even though we're seeing some clearing skies in place, I do want to keep an eye on some cloud cover, though, coming out of Kansas City. I don't think it'll amount to anything more than that, but it's something to keep in mind as we get into the morning ahead of us. Quick check of temperatures has us in the upper 20s to lower 30s already, and we are set for a cold night for sure. In fact, while most of us drop back into the 20s, I think areas in northeast Oklahoma where they saw more snow, they'll drop into the teens tonight, but we should do better with temperatures tomorrow with the dry day in place. We should have seen most spots back near 40, but I have another storm system I'm tracking on the way. Kate will break that down for you here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Nick. Runners went dashing through the snow in Neosho for the 38th annual Dogwood Run today. The Dogwood race normally takes place in the spring, but of course COVID-19 called for a change of plans. Masks were required upon registration, but not during the event. Organizers staggered start times to reduce the number of people running at once. Over 100 people took part. This is a tradition many runners were happy to see through, even with the changes.
And this individual time trial format is typical in longer cycling races like the Tour de France. So I said, I think we can probably use that to allow people to come out and run a 5K, but still be safe about it.
Runners normally get to take home a dogwood tree for their participation in the race. This year, the 100 dogwoods that were ordered for the April event were donated to the city of Neosho and planted in Morse and Big Spring Park. A low-cost auto repair shop in Joplin is raising money to buy new car haulers after 2 of their trailers were stolen before Thanksgiving. KOAM's Caitlin Shive has the details. On November 18th, 2 trailers were stolen from the lot of Higher Power Garage in Joplin.
He said, "I need to show you something," and we walked outside and he showed me where the fence had been cut, and somebody had literally just backed in, or whatever they did, I guess, and cut the locks, and one at a time I pulled off with both of our car haulers.
Their security cameras were also tampered with, meaning none of the theft was recorded. The faith-based nonprofit admits it came as a blow.
We're not really sure what happened there. I mean, we know that there's a reason for everything and that God has got a plan behind it, but it was just most definitely frustrating, confusing, in the midst of it.
Mike Gideon started Higher Power Garage as a way to help out those in need with low-cost car repair. Tabitha Morlock partners with him to run the shop, and the loss of the trailers feels personal.
One of them, it was so sad because we put so much into it. Mike especially put so much into it. I mean, he laid a new flooring, you know, then we painted it, and then we actually installed a floor jack on it so that it would lift up, and a winch, and it was just so much like love and blood put into it just for it to be stolen.
But Tabitha and a volunteer at the shop have been raising money to try and replace at least one of the trailers.
We just need one right now. We can make do with that. And the fundraiser is, we're asking for $2,250, $2,250 to actually to fund the trailer, and then the winch that Mike had actually supplied before to go on it.
The efforts are being put forth through a Facebook fundraiser and a volunteer going door to door.
Donations here and there, and from so many people that I didn't even know existed here. I don't know, it's so beautiful because you can see through this one volunteer and a rough situation, like just the whole community coming together, kind of like we had envisioned.
In Joplin, Caitlin Shive, KOAM News. The fundraiser is about $600 short of their goal. You can find links to the Facebook fundraiser in this article on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. If you're feeling extra generous, our annual Toy Box campaign is underway. Each year we ask for donations of toys and of course money to buy toys to give to area kids in need. All of your donations can stay in the county that you live in. You can find a list of toy drop-off locations on our website. Again, that's KOAMnewsnow.com, or you can donate by phone during our Toy Box Tuesday Telethon. That's this coming Tuesday on our noon, 5 and 6 p.m. newscasts. That's news and weather in our first 7 minutes. Just ahead, Pfizer begins its shipment of the coronavirus vaccine. We'll learn more about how it's being distributed across the U.S. Pfizer began shipping its coronavirus vaccine across the nation today. UPS and FedEx are teaming up with the federal government to deliver the first doses across the U.S. Healthcare workers and nursing home residents are expected to be among the first to receive the vaccine. CBS News correspondent Chris Van Cleve reports from UPS's hub in Louisville, Kentucky.
Nearly 3 million doses of Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine began shipping across the U.S. from the drug maker's Michigan plant on Sunday. As the country approaches 300,000 COVID-19 deaths, it's an historic step in the nation's most elaborate inoculation project ever.
The way we see light at the end of the tunnel, the way we get through this, is to achieve herd immunity. And that means we need to vaccinate a significant number of people in this country, including those who are hesitant.
As winter nears, the country is grappling with record case numbers and daily deaths exceeding 3,000 for the first time last week.
We're likely to see a peak at some point in January, but the burden on the hospital system is going to continue for another 3 weeks past that.
UPS Vice President Captain Houston Mills piloted the first flight Sunday carrying vaccine to the UPS hub in Louisville, acknowledging it's the most precious cargo he's ever flown.
This is definitely hope. You know, there's a lot of people who worked very long and hard to get us to this moment.
In the building behind us, approximately 75 boxes of coronavirus vaccine are being sorted and loaded onto planes for delivery to more than 30 cities Monday morning. CDC Director Robert Redfield signed off on the FDA's emergency use authorization for Pfizer's vaccine late Friday. Now it can be given to Americans 16 and older as early as Monday. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Louisville, Kentucky.
The U.S. reported more than 16 million coronavirus cases during the pandemic, less than a week after surpassing 15 million. Those numbers are by far the highest in the world. Keeping up its rapid-fire launch pace, SpaceX shot off a Falcon 9 rocket carrying a powerful next-generation SiriusXM radio satellite today, chalking up the California rocket builder's 25th flight to orbit so far this year. The 15,000-pound SXM-7 satellite, built by Maxar Technologies, was released to fly on its own about 32 minutes after liftoff. The SiriusXM-7 satellite features a large deployable antenna to broadcast radio programming directly to homes, businesses, cars, trucks, and other vehicles. It will join 5 other satellites in the SiriusXM fleet, eventually replacing one of the older, less powerful models. Up next, Nick Kelly returns with a full look at your forecast. And later, the Electoral College will cast their votes to elect Joe Biden to the presidency tomorrow. But President Trump is still not done fighting to stay in power.
Getting a flu shot helps.
As advertised, we had our storm system work out of the Rockies, slide by here today. It's gone now, but look at what it did in its wake. On the warm side of the system, south of I-40, that was plenty of rain, and now it's leading to thunderstorms in parts of the deep south. Around here, though, this system, as advertised, started out as a bit of a rain-snow mix this morning as it was working in, but as we saw dynamic cooling change that rain over to snow, we saw the entire bulk of the system mainly in the form of snow, even though the ground temperatures for many of you were just a tad bit warm for any meaningful accumulation and for any of that snow to really stick around for quite a while. On the plus side, though, if you're not a fan of snow, we got the last of it out of here over the past few hours. We're dry in the Skywatch storm tracker, but it's amazing to see the pictures and really tells the story about how you had to travel quite a bit to see any accumulating snow. Take, for example, Kaylee. This is her deck and her yard out of Diamond, Missouri. You go from a bit of a dusting there to this picture from Todd out of Neo Show. That was near the golf course, and that is quite a bit of snow blanketing the ground in that part of Newton County. And the farther south you go, you saw more snow pile up. This is Samantha's view from Pineville at 6 p.m., where she estimated about 5 inches of snow based on her measurement there. So quite a bit of snow still to tabulate. Hopefully we can have those final numbers by tomorrow. In the meantime, though, we're quiet outside, not just from our station, but also around the Joplin area. We are at 28 with some clearing skies in place, but that north breeze at 5, even though it's light, makes it feel like 23. Most of us are in the middle to upper 20s to near 30 degrees. Cold night for sure as we continue to see a little bit of clearing, but you can see off to the north a little bit of extra cloud cover wants to try and sneak in from the Kansas City metro. That's the only thing that we'll have to watch as we go through the overnight. But the storm system itself continues its march toward the east with severe thunderstorms still possible in parts of the deep south. But that system's on the move. We're getting this upper low out of here with a break in between for tomorrow. Then we see this next low out in the Pacific Northwest. That's going to be the next system to watch by Tuesday. At least we'll be in between storm systems for Monday with a quiet day to enjoy. But I'll tell you, after the snow today, look at the lows. Upper teens for northeast Oklahoma, where you saw quite a bit of snow, and everyone else quite a bit cold, with most of us bottoming out around 24 degrees. Thankfully, though, we will do better with temperatures. It was hard to get out of the 30s at all for yesterday and today, but we'll go to 36 by lunchtime, afternoon highs around 40 in Joplin, but I see most of us topping out near 40, with some partly sunny skies trying to return ahead of that next storm system on Tuesday. So let's jump to Tuesday while we still have a little bit of time left. We start the day out dry, but then as that system kicks out, here comes another shot for some rain and snow as well. This time around, moisture is a bit lacking. If we can get any accumulating snow out of this, we're looking at really minor amounts, mainly, let's say, 1/4 of an inch to about an inch across most locations. So that's the next storm system to watch. Then we're dry Wednesday and Thursday, but temperatures very December-like. 40 tomorrow, upper 30s Tuesday and Wednesday, 43 Thursday. Then sticking with Doug's pattern, Kate will watch for another system with some rain chances by late Friday and then to Saturday.
All right, sounds good. You know, I didn't get to build my snowman today, but maybe in the future.
We've got plenty of systems lined up, so don't worry. We'll try and get you a snowman soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Nick. In northern Oklahoma today, it's a wonderland, but it's not so wonderful for drivers. A winter storm warning brought heavy snow along Interstate 35, causing slick road conditions. Several vehicles found themselves stuck. Coming up later in sports, the Kansas City Chiefs look to keep their streak alive and pick up a 5th consecutive AFC West title facing the Dolphins. Also, we'll hear from Missouri men's basketball following their upset over Illinois. Andy Ciateco has that and more later. Tomorrow, the Electoral College will cast their votes to elect Joe Biden to the presidency officially, but President Trump is still insisting he's not done fighting to stay in power. CBS's Chip Reed is at the White House.
President Trump spent this unseasonably warm December day doing what he so often does on weekends, golfing and tweeting. Most corrupt election in U.S. history, he wrote this morning, continuing his angry tirade against Joe Biden's victory and against the dozens of courts that have dismissed the president's challenges.
No judge, including the Supreme Court of the United States, has had the courage to allow it to be heard.
Republican Chris Christie today disagreed.
The reason the Supreme Court is not taking this is not because of a lack of courage. It's for the same reason that every court has thrown this out. It's a lack of evidence.
But the president still says he's not giving up.
No, it's not over. We keep going, and we're going to continue to go forward.
A new CBS News poll says 62% of the nation's voters feel the election is over and settled, but 79% of the president's supporters believe the election should be contested, although 51% of Trump voters say he should concede if the Electoral College votes tomorrow for Biden as expected. Even if the president does concede, retiring Republican Senator Lamar Alexander said today he wouldn't bet against him in 4 years.
I think he'll be a force in our party and in our country for as long as he wants to be.
The president was asked this weekend if he plans to attend Joe Biden's inauguration. He responded, quote, "I don't want to talk about that. As for Mr. Biden, he plans to take up residence here in less than 6 weeks."
We take this time now to honor another four-state hero. Corporal Warren Smith served in the Army during World War II, spending time stationed in France. His hometown, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and also Southeast Kansas. We thank you, Warren Smith, our four-state hero. Welcome back and welcome into the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. The Kansas City Chiefs clinched a playoff spot after defeating Denver last week. This afternoon, the Chiefs have a chance to clinch a fifth straight AFC West title, facing Miami on the road. The Chiefs enter on a 7-game winning streak, 11-1 overall. Third quarter, Kansas City up 4. Patrick Mahomes airs it out. It's a 44-yard touchdown strike to Tyreek Hill. Puts Kansas City up double digits. Then Miami punting on the ensuing drive. Mecole Hardman on the return cuts to the outside and takes it 67 yards to the house. Chiefs on top by 18. Still in the third. Defense doing some work. Chris Jones sacks Tua in the end zone for the safety. Kansas City leading 30-10. Fourth quarter, I gotta show this one. Patrick Mahomes drops back, looking for Hill, but Xavier Howard makes an incredible one-handed interception. Mahomes threw 3 picks in this one today. Skipping ahead, Chiefs up 6 with less than 3 minutes to play. Mahomes gonna find Hill on a 4th and short for the first down to keep the drive alive. The Chiefs hold on to win this one 33-27. With that, Kansas City earns its 5th consecutive AFC West title.
These things don't come easy. You have to battle every single offseason. You have to battle every training camp. During the season, you go through adversity. So you have to really appreciate winning the AFC West. We'll enjoy it probably for the flight over back to Kansas City, and then we get to play the New Orleans Saints next week, who's a great football team. And so we'll have to move on fast and continue to go out there and just compete and find ways to get better going into the playoffs.
At the college level, 2 weeks ago, Sarah Fuller became the first woman to play in a Power 5 college football game. Yesterday, Vanderbilt's Sarah Fuller made history again as the first woman to score points in a Power 5 contest. She kicked 2 extra points in the Commodores' loss to rival Tennessee. Fuller was a goalkeeper for Vanderbilt's soccer team, which won the SEC tournament title last month. She says these last few weeks being on the football team feels nothing but normal and was ready for her opportunity when it came.
Sum it up, I say it's been a little chaotic, but I'm very thankful for every opportunity. And again, the whole, Vanderbilt football staff has been incredible, and it's been an awesome journey. I was just super excited when we got that touchdown. I was just ready to go out and roll, and the guys were super pumped up and encouraging. So I was very excited to get out there and finally do what I've been training for the past few weeks.
To college hoops now, Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State are both at home this week for their final 2 games before taking a little winter break starting on Thursday. Thursday night, Moso will host Northwest Missouri. The Lion women have won their last 3 in a row with a chance to get over 500 against the Bearcats. On the men's side, Southern will face top-ranked Northwest. Bearcats are still hoping to play this game with the Lions after announcing positive COVID cases last Monday. Pittsburgh State will square off with Missouri Western on Thursday. The Gorilla women are coming off back-to-back wins for the first time this season, entering the contest with a 3-3 record. Pitt State men also 3-3 on the year. The Gorillas will look to hand the Griffins their first loss of the year, and the women's game tips off at 5:30 Thursday night with the men's contest to follow around 7:30.
Mizzou won bragging rights for the third straight year. Tigers took down 6th-ranked Illinois in a thriller on Saturday night, 81-78. The win moves Missouri to 5-0 on the year. Tigers had 4 score in double figures, led by Drew Smith and Xavier Pinson, each with 17 points. For the Tigers, winning this rivalry game at home against a top 10 team was huge.
I feel like the title of the game explains itself, bragging rights. This game was important. We got a top 10 team coming into our house, and we got to defend our home. And we had to defend the trophy because we had won back-to-back. So, just to get a three-peat and to be added to that type of history of Mizzou, that's everything for me. Can't get any better than that.
That's a look at sports. Back with more news after this.
Before we wrap things up, we wanted to remind everyone that the KOAM Morning Show is asking you to send in your kids' Christmas list and some basic info. And beginning on the 17th, our morning show will interview Santa and read off those Christmas wish lists. You can learn more by going to the morning show page on our website or on the KOAM News Now mobile app. Now here's Nick with one final look at our snow day.
We're cold tonight, but no snow tomorrow, though. We'll be dry with highs near 40. Another shot for rate of snow Tuesday. Then we'll watch for another system by the weekend, Kate.
All right, thanks, Nick, and thanks for watching. Have a good night and a great Monday.
See news happening